Thank you for tuning into The Truth with Trinity. And I am your host, Trinity. And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I'd like to send you a warm welcome. Here I talk about issues that happen within the Black community, hopefully for some resolution or at least some food for thought to go about your daily way. So without further ado, I'd like to jump into this episode's topic, which is why the Black man is conditioned to call his women bitter. I wanted to first start off by thanking all my listeners. And if you haven't listened before, thank you for tuning in for your first time. And also any subscribers and commenters. Speaking of commenters, I had a comment left by a brother. I assume, he's a brother. And he, responded and he said that, Black women are delusional, pretty much need therapy, basically mentally ill, if they think that a Black man is responsible for Black women in general, okay? So I want to break that down, okay? First off, this is another brother that on the opposite coin would blame that the Black woman is too eager to tell other people, like therapists and government officials and police officers, their business. But yet, when a problem is brought his way, well, not directly because it was just a podcast, but this goes in general with a lot of our brothers in the American area, the USA, or I don't know, maybe worldwide, but I've only been in this country, and when they're presented with a problem, they redirect the Black woman. Okay, so on one side he's saying, the Black woman is crazy, so this is gaslighting. Okay, this is redirecting the problem to another race of man, basically, outside from itself. But then he also complains that, he can't be head, he can't be lead, which leads me into, the first things I would like to talk about when we talk about why the Black man is conditioned to call his women bitter. Okay. Men of other nations understand that when a man steps out of line, it isn't the woman's or other nationalities' place to correct their men, but theirs alone. And before I get started, I want to make a small disclaimer before I go too deep in. The things that I'm talking about is going to be from a psychological perspective. I will try to make it as respectful as possible, but I cannot sugarcoat the message that will be delivered. There will be maybe some men that will be triggered. Maybe some of it applies to them, or maybe they will be in complete denial of their responsibilities and roles, but I have to deliver the message. So I want to break down this first part. Now that I've made that disclaimer, and also too, if there's some men out there that this does not apply to, hopefully we can get some men together that will unite with other Black men and show them the way, because I do understand that the words that are going to be coming from my mouth, it does sound foreign and it is quite offensive coming from a woman's mouth. It may be more believable coming from a man's mouth, and that's why it's so important for the Black men that do have the knowledge to at least each one teach one. Okay, so let me go back into the material. So men of other nations, okay, they understand when a man steps out of line. So this is referring to the commenter that was listening. Other men aren't waiting to call the cops as much. They're not waiting to call the cops. They're not waiting for their woman to correct the man. They're not standing by when their men damage other women and children. They take it into their hands. If they don't want the cops to be called into their neighborhoods, if they want to be the king of the jungle with their own women, if they want their own women to look at them as king of the jungle, quote unquote, they're taught to handle these things within their own nationality. Okay, because they may not have been the man that directly committed the crime, but they understand the effects that it'll have on their village and their communities if they let their men run rampant throughout the villages where their women or kids reside. Because those men realize that a tyrannical man roams about and destroys the village that consists of their women and kids. Okay, so this goes back to the Black men. A lot of them will say, it wasn't my fault, it wasn't my this or that, but black men don't have the unity to be able to form a union to be able to correct themselves so that women won't be coming at them a certain way because they'll be doing it within their own. They don't have to worry about white cops and things of that nature coming in their communities because they have a council within their own communities, within their own cities. They don't need permission from other people to form these, but the black man needs unity to be able to do these things. Okay, and a lot of black men will say that, the black woman has raised the children by herself, and it is a result of why the children are messed up now. But the black man does not want to realize that in the 50s through the 70s and 80s, that it was the black man primarily leaving the home, whether it was because of welfare. He didn't even put up a fight to stay in that home to provide any way he could. A lot of black men did just walk away. And when the black man is confronted with these issues about the black man walking away in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and that the black woman now and the mental illnesses that she has now and abusing the black boys stem from those areas. And when the black man is confronted with that, he'll say, well, I was raised from slavery and white man. And the thing is, for the black man to come out of his curse, for him to be able to rise again, true, a lot of things may have stemmed from slavery, but now the black man, since he realizes these things, now he's going to have to make a choice and how he's going to solve these things, because it is in a man's nature, it's supposed to be, for him to solve the issues within his community and his race of people. Other than that, why is a man called a man? Let me continue. Because the black man left from the home heavily in the 50s and 60s. I've already went over this a little bit, and more than half abusing the women, okay, from their mental illnesses. So I do understand that the black man did have a lot of mental illness. It left the black man to be conditioned to mimic and respond with mannerisms like a woman. So that when he grew into adulthood, if a woman stated the kids were hungry, so what I'm saying is, back in those times, and that the black woman has been raising the black man. A lot of black men will agree on this. That's why the black man has been feminized, a lot of them now, right? But they don't want to go into detail, though, that yes, you've been hanging around your mom doing the curlers. When she's on her menstrual cycle, she's throwing off the excuse, oh, I can't make it, or I'm going to sign up for public assistance or whatever. But that's left the black man condition in a softened condition to where he grew into a full man. But when he was faced with manhood problems, he responded like a woman. My stomach hurts. I can't make it. It's your fault. Those are mannerisms of a woman to shift the blame on a man. Okay, and a man is our men are grown men, but they're shifting the blame on women instead of saying, you know what, the buck stops here. Let me go solve it, which is the natural instinct of a man. So basically, when a woman is saying that the kids are hungry, the black man says, go ask government assistance. My mom did, instead of saying, I'll go to work no matter what type of job it is. The black woman asked for rent or a mortgage. The black man liked the idea of her working, but hated for her to run the house. And we see that a lot. A lot of black men are calling black women bitter, like I said, because he is taught to be insensitive to the black woman's request and cry. Okay, so he wants the black woman to be independent because that takes less money out of his pocket, but he hates for her to run the house. Okay, he loves sex, but becomes frustrated with the core components and responsibility of a man. So he said that she was nagging to justify calling her bitter, which leads into this episode's topic once again, why the black man is conditioned to call his woman bitter. Let's define bitter. Bitter is a person or a group of people having a behavior, in this case we're referring it to black women, of feeling angry, hurt, or resentful because of one's bad experiences. Bad experiences of who? Bad experiences with black men or sense of unjust treatment. Okay? And what do a lot of black women complain? That black men are wanting this feminine woman. They're wanting these things. But the black man is used to utilizing his masculinity in a brutal and a hurtful way that damages black women versus going out there to work, getting his education, staying off the street, staying out of jail, making sure that he's not just impregnating women and saying, I don't know how you got pregnant, but no, I have the means to take care of you. Yes, it's a challenge out there to get a job as a black man, but still define the odds if the Hispanic man can do it. If other nationalities of men can do it, then the black man can do it instead of making the excuses about his poor treatment and then saying that black women are delusional worldwide or nationwide in America for saying that they're all angry for no reason versus coming to the reality about the truth of his position and that he's shirking his duty as a God-given man. Let's continue. Majority of black men have been spiritually castrated, that of which I will discuss in greater detail in an upcoming episode because I want to make an episode of, how the black man was physically castrated, his testosterone and his testicles removed, his genitalia during slavery, and how now the modern day black man is spiritually castrated. He's unable to produce. It's made him in a weakened state, and how his testosterone has been removed from him on a spiritual level. But like I said, I'll go into that in greater detail in another episode coming up soon. The black man has been taught to justify his black woman's hurt, anger, and illness at his hands as bitterness. So this is at the black man's hands, and I'm gonna be honest. I can't sugarcoat with you. Like I said, this might sound better coming from a man's mouth, but the black woman's hurt and her illness is at the hands of the black man. For the black man to say that he wants to be a man, the reason why he has such a hard time for other races of men to respect him as men is because he's going around the mulberry bush to understand that the reality of his condition not only results from his own doing, but the condition of his women and kids are a result of his intuition and his inner thoughts. Let me continue. I've already said the black man has been taught to call her bitter because he is conditioned to be insensitive to the black woman's cry. The black man often talks about how the black woman was only used for visiting. Oh, excuse me. The black man often talks about how the black woman was used for voting numbers in the feminist movement. But so was the black man. The black man was used too, and let's talk about how the black man was used for the feminist movement. The black man is conditioned to use single mothering, overworked black women as an excuse to blame black women, stating that she wanted to be a man or Miss Independent. Now she is crying and complaining now that she realizes the work is too hard for her and she needs a man. So a lot of black men are saying that now, okay? That black women wanted this. That they just wanted to be independent, okay? When the truth is that the black man this is the truth that the black man doesn't want to hear, okay? Is that from slavery to Jim Crow, the black man was murdered and lynched out of his home. From the federal government from the government epidemics like welfare and crack, the black man has never been in the home long enough. So at one time, the black man could literally say the white man was at the front of doors of institutions with rifles telling black men that they couldn't apply to certain jobs and certain banks and certain education. But what say you now, black man? Every time majority of black men are confronted about the child abandonment rate or the high molestation rate in the black community and a slew of other problems, the black man deflects by calling the black woman crazy or bitter. Or the black man says it's because of slavery and white men. So when the black man is, backed into a corner, not metaphysical, but metaphorically speaking. So he's not really in a corner, literally. But when he's questioned, why? You can say black women, but if you're a man and God made you head, why are you still shifting the blame on the black woman? If you know that it's designed for the black man to be out the house, to the crack epidemic, and all these things that separate the black man, what are you going to do now, though? And that's what black men don't want to answer. All due respect, they're saying they keep shifting it on the white man, while the white man continues to call them a boy. The white man calls the black man a boy is because he knows the problems that the black man faces and that the black man is twiddling his thumbs going around the issue. So the black man is just circling around the issue that yes, you are responsible for your women. And a black man say, it's every man for himself. Well, that's our problem. And that's why our races continue to be killed off. And that's why black women, as a whole, even the ones that are successful and not successful, because the black men are saying, I don't have any parts in it. Let me continue. So a lot of black men are saying when backed into a wall, it's because of slavery and it's because of the white man why they're conditioned to be this way, which is halfway true. I say only half because if the black man sees or can comprehend that the generation of black men failing to take responsibility comes from massive brainwashing, so you understand that it comes from massive brainwashing of slavery, then instead of black men continuing to shift the responsibility, accountability, or blame on black women, why doesn't the black man come together to find a way to decrease crime and the illnesses of his community? And I want to go over some ways of how or what the black man can do, okay, to reshift, okay, and to regain control of his reality. So instead of making videos and instead of talking about black women in a negative way, the black man can get rid of some of those feminine traits, and he can begin to come together like other races of men and say, how are we going to get our community together, boys? And not boys, but how are we going to get our community together? How are we going to do it as men? So we can keep talking about the single mothers, and we can keep talking about how wild they are, and we can keep talking about them splitting their buttocks open on stage and out in the communities. But what are we going to do as men to gain control so that our daughters don't keep growing up as whores, so that our boys don't keep growing up to be a serial number in jail? What are black men going to do about it instead of just making videos talking about their own women while other races of people comment and laugh and make money off of it? Let me continue. This is what the black man can do, okay? The black man would have to unite with his own black men to hold meetings on how to change their conditions. In order for the black man to do that, the black man must come to full terms that he is in control more than he thinks he is. So I'm saying the black man is in control more than he realizes that he is. Okay? But as long as the black man denies his accountability to the black woman, his children, and as a whole, the black man will continue to be under the curse of answering to another man, and so will his women and children. As soon as the black man understands that no other race of man can call himself man without holding his fellow men accountable for crimes that destroy their neighborhoods and that they are responsible for women and children, the black man, this is foreign to him because he's not used to hearing this. The black man is primarily taught to reproduce children. And that's it. Like that's where his responsibility stops at. Anything else falls on the woman. They're saying it falls on the woman, yet they want to call themselves men, and that's where we're having a problem at within the black race of people. Let me continue. As one looks from the outside looking in, it's quite saddening. It's sad. I'm sure other races of people look in, and even some black people who are conscious that maybe feel like they can't really say anything because, as a whole, black people won't listen. And the black man, is really stiff-necked in hearing this, that majority of black women are getting pregnant by black men, yet the black man has nothing else to produce. Neither does he feel that he should. As the black man's woman and children die around him, so as the black man's women and children die around him, he is conditioned to sit on idle. His inner intuition tells him that he should lead or do something, but he doesn't know how. It tells him that he should defend, but has been conditioned to annihilate his own women that eat his own children. So as the black man is annihilating the black woman is conditioned to eat her own children. Once the curse is removed from the black man, all others will be free. Okay, so I want to talk about some ways that the black man can remove the curse, because there is a curse. It's been a curse since our forefathers. I'm sure you've heard of it before. It's not a myth. You can see it with your own eyes, that the same curse that was on our people that got us over here, and the black man's disharmony, okay, our forefathers, and so eager to talk to outside influences, how they were able to infiltrate and capture the black man, because a lot of them like to say, it was your own people that sold you. It was all your own people. Well, that's the thing. That's how they divide and conquer, is because we have problems within our own people, and the black man and woman and black people, the same problems that we face now, worshiping other gods, acting like God doesn't exist, acting like that we can worship idolatry and foreign statues, and turning against each other and killing each other and being against tribe and black person against black people. That's how they came in, and that's what's going on now. Okay? And I want to talk about quickly how the black man, can remove this curse. Okay? Number one, the black man must come to terms that the condition of the black woman and his children are his fault. It is. I don't know how else to tell you. If you're claiming you're a man, and that God told the woman to follow the man, then it is your responsibility. It is your fault. Now, just because you haven't been taught that all your life, just because you have been raised by a woman, does not separate it from the truth. And if this is a lie, how come other races of men know this? How come Chinese men, Asian men, Japanese men, Norwegian men know that they stand at the forefront, the vanguard for their women and children? How come not? And when they do have crimes, and they do have men rapists and stuff, they nip it in the bud and they execute those men or do whatever they have to do, because they realize as men, it's their responsibility to control the environment for their women and kids. The black man has not been taught that. The black man has been taught that he should have sex with his women, but that's it pretty much. And that the woman is to work and drain herself out, and that he still should walk about with his shoulders back as a man, and then calls his women bitter and upset and crazy and angry, and gets upset when other races of men come in to kill them and murder them, because they haven't been man enough to solve their own problems within their own community, grab their own sons up and say stop killing each other, and then get upset when another race of police officer or something comes in to solve the issues that other races of men are solving within their own community. So instead of calling the black woman bitter, actually sit, instead of talking about her back as if you are a feminized man, say, hey, how much of this are black women saying that is the truth, and how as men can we gather together to solve some of these things. Also, the black man, like I said, the black man must come to terms that the condition of black women and his children are his fault and a reflection of his inner reality. Okay? The black man must stop picking America's cotton, basically selling dope, which is a whole nother episode about how the black man must stop picking America's cotton. Okay, because they sell dope and they put the dope in there, but they made the rules, they made the laws, so they're not going to arrest them like that. When is the black man going to stop picking the cotton, selling the dope that gets him locked up, that gets him incarcerated, that prevents him from getting his education? Okay, and lands him in there with a serial number. You can't protect your women. You're being warehoused. You're being feminized. You're being raped in jail. And you're being slaughtered in jail at the hands of men that are in there that don't like black men. So when is the black man going to stop selling dope? So these are all the things that are gonna help remove the curse off of the black man and woman. The black man must stop killing his own men long enough to form a tribe or union to bring about positive changes. Okay, but if the black man doesn't care about his own black man, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about his family. He doesn't care about any of that. So if another black man is disrespecting and dogging a black woman, the black man says that, or men period don't like when black women or women period of their race come at them a certain way. It's up to the black. It is the responsibility of the black man to say, hey man, this isn't funny. We're not going to sit around and laugh with you while you dog a black woman out. We're going to correct you. If we don't want black women to correct us, we need to take responsibility. If we don't want other police officers and stuff, we're going to correct it. You don't put your hands on our women, because it's going to destroy our women that destroy our children, man. Black men need to start holding accountability and form a union. Okay? The black man must stop shifting blame on women or other men or other races of men and find a way to take back control of his reality. To fully remove the curse, the black man must turn back to the God of his forefathers, which is the God over Israel, the God over Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? And I'm not talking about the slave master's God. A lot of black people must stop being in denial that, no, we're not supposed to serve the slave master's God that tells you to bark like a dog and tells you that you're inferior and that you should just take abuse. No, I'm not saying that you should serve that God. But that is no way to just say that God doesn't exist, period. And if God put forth rules for the black woman to follow, as the black woman, should take her leave from a man, the black man is accountable to God. He is, and that's what the black man is missing. And that's why the curses remain on the black man, because if the black man had any consciousness to listen to God, God will be telling him that he is responsible for his women all over the nation, and that he is responsible for his children, and that he is failing them, and which is why the black women are failing as well. But the black man, a lot of them don't want to hear that. He hasn't been used to this. But in order for the curse to cease, the black man must take control over his own reality, and thus forth his own exterior, outer environment. If the black man does these things, Jehovah would remove the curse from the black man, heal the black woman, and our land. It's been a pleasure talking with you all. This pretty much concludes this segment. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. I just want to say I love all my brothers out there. I love all my sisters out there as well. Like I said, leave a comment if you can. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you'd like to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you like what you heard, hit the like button or share with other people. Also, if you'd like to make a contribution, a financial contribution, or if you would like to ask any questions or suggestions, you can at thetruthwithtrinity.com. You can also listen to my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. And always remember, if you can't tell the truth with anyone else, you can with Trinity. Till next time, take care.